Welcome to Mood Food with Melissa. I'm Melissa, and I'm so excited to be sharing one of my favorite recipes with you. Today, we're going to be making my Tamari ginger dressing, inspired by one of my favorite plant-based cafes in Boston. This dressing is one of my favorites because it's loaded with anti-inflammatory ingredients like raw garlic, ginger, and turmeric, and as with most of my dressing recipes, the blender is going to do most of the work for us. So all we have to do to make this dressing is combine our ingredients that I have measured out here. We're going to start with about 1/2 cup of ginger that has been peeled and roughly chopped, and along with a few raw garlic cloves. These guys are a little small, so we're gonna go with about 5 of them, but depending on the size of your garlic cloves, you could use 2 really big ones. Just kind of use your judgment. You can always just go light and add more in later if you're nervous about using too much garlic, but there's never such a thing as too much garlic in my book. Next, we're going to start by adding our liquids in, which we'll start with 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. And you'll want to go with a nice high quality olive oil for this. It will help to get a nice emulsion going. Next, we're going to add 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And it is important to use fresh for this recipe. It'll make a big difference in the flavor. We're also going to add 1/4 cup of water and 1 tablespoon of tamari. I love to use tamari for this recipe because it's a naturally gluten-free soy sauce, and it also has a little bit more depth than a regular soy sauce, so you get some really nice notes from it. And then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of dried parsley. This is freeze-dried parsley. I like to keep that in my cabinet at home. It's just really easy to work with, and especially when you only need a teeny bit of parsley for a recipe like this, you don't have to worry about chopping up a whole bunch. Then we have 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, along with a little bit of black pepper. And we include the pepper for flavor, but also because it helps the turmeric to be absorbed and more bioavailable in our bodies, so we can really get all those anti-inflammatory benefits. We're also going to add 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of my favorite salt, that saltery salt. This is the Duxbury salt, and it has that beautiful mineral profile from the oyster beds that it's harvested from. So this is definitely a must-have for this recipe. So we'll add all of those in, and now we're just gonna give this a quick whirl through the blender, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So I gave this a whirl in the blender for about a minute or so, depending on your blender or what type you're using. It may take a little longer, a little less time, but you're just going for a nice even consistency. You don't wanna see any chunks in there. And as you can see, as I'm pouring it out, it's nice and smooth, and you're not getting, it's not like a creaminess to it, but it definitely has that emulsion going on. So that way, everything's kind of bonded together and it's going to give a nice dressing for our salad. I love to use this in my rainbow cafe bowl, but this can be used in all kinds of delicious things. It could also be used as a marinade for things like chicken. It can be used as a delicious sauce with all kinds of things. So there you have it. It's just that easy. We just took our ingredients, combined them into the blender, gave them a quick whirl, and now we have a delicious new dressing to work with. One of my favorite ways to use this dressing is in my steamed rainbow cafe bowl, which I'll be showing you how to make in one of my upcoming episodes. You can find this recipe and more at moodfoodwithmelissa.com.